Hi, this is Laura Homan, Quality Assurance Director with Shoot Pro Cloud. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Shoot Control Panel to set up banks and establish the number of starting squads. Now is the time to log in. In order to navigate to the Shoot Control Panel, you must first open up a Shoot. You'll notice on the club dashboard that there are current shoots, there may be future shoots, and there are also past shoots. It's important that you choose the one that you want to work with. In my case, we're going to work with the training shoot. So I'm going to open that shoot, and you'll notice it looks like I can't do anything here with squads, and that is correct. If we would go up to the hamburger icon on the shoot dashboard, we'll see there is a shoot control panel. On that shoot control panel, we have all of our events listed, along with the event name and the starting number of squads that we are going to have available to shooters. We also have a column that says banks and blocks, and then finally more details. These details are all a part of the details that you would use in order to check to make sure your shoot is set up correctly. In our case, we're going to set up the banks. So if we left click on the banks icon, you'll notice that we're opening up to a bank sheet of which has information already listed. In this case, this shoot is going to have 8 banks, and shooters are going to shoot 100 targets on each bank. Therefore, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H would be what would be listed on the trap houses. Now let's say at your club, starting trap A is actually 1A, and starting trap B is actually 1B, 1C, 1D. You can easily come up to the bank labels and alter them. I can put a 1, and you'll notice that 1A appears. I can put a 1 before B. I can put a 1 before C and before D. Now let's say in our case, we have bank 2 that is going to start with 2A. Very simply, I just keep going with 2A, comma, no space, 2B, comma, no space, 2C, comma, no space. And I can easily rename all of my banks. If you'll notice, if I forget a comma, it is not a problem at all. Just click and insert your comma where you like it. And now the banks are set up according to the labels that are out on the trap houses. You'll also notice with the banks that some of the squad numbers are blue, some are orange, and some are gray. Blue means open, orange is blocked, and gray is occupied. Now, let's say that you want to take some of the opened squads and you want to block them because you want to fill this 4th flight before you put anyone on the 5th flight. Very simply, left click on the squad number, and that particular squad will not be able to have shooters on it. It will be blocked. So now you will have 4 full flights, and you do not have to worry about a 5th flight for the 3 squads that are listed. Don't forget to go and save. If you do all of this work and you don't save, nothing is going to be retained. So it's really important to save. That way, when you come back into that event, it's going to be set up exactly the way you left it. What's nice is, let's say that shoot management says, well, we're not going to run 8 banks today, we're going to run 4 banks. Very simply, come up to the number of banks, change the 8 to 4, and now you have 4 banks. You can even clean up the bank labels so that you have 1 bank with an A, B, C, and D trap. Again, you'll notice that everything adjusts to the 4 banks. In this case, we blocked out flight 9. We can open up this squad 29 by left clicking, and now it's open and available for squatting. Now that we have our bank set up for event 1, please keep in mind that you need to do this for each and every event that you have for your chute. So now that the chute has been collapsed to 4 banks, I'm going to save, and that way when I come back in, I would have 4 banks. Let's say for event 2, we needed 8 banks. You can easily change those banks by doing just what we had said before. Select the number of banks, change it to 8, select your labels, and you can start labeling as you have out in the trap field. Notice as you are labeling, the bank labels adjust, and don't forget to save. Let's say that event 3 is going to start a rotation of the banks. We would come over to the banks and blocks, and we would see that squad 1 is starting on bank 1A. Let's say there was some kind of drawing, some chute personnel determined that squad 1 is going to start on 5A. Very simply completed by selecting and renumbering your banks. So 5A is the starting bank for squad 1, then 5B, and then you go to 1A, you go to 1B, 2A, etc. And now all of your squads are identified with their starting trap in the way in which chute management would like it to appear. Again, very important, make sure once you have your bank labels correct, your starting squad is checked, you save. Now let's take a closer look at the number of squads. If you look in event 1 starts with 35 squads. Event 2 with 20. Let's say that we had an influx of shooters, we filled all 35 squads, and we needed to have additional squads available for shooters. Very simply, increase the number of squads that are now available. That way, when your squatters go in, they're going to see squad 40 will be available, whereas event 2, there's only going to be a maximum of 30 squads available. There's one more advantage that we haven't talked about with regard to setting banks. If you set banks from the beginning, shooters who cashier for that particular event will have written on their receipt not only their squad number, but the starting trap. That is a very valuable asset for shooters. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments or contact us via the club dashboard. Additional resources are available in the video description below. If you found this tutorial helpful, please hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to see when we post new tutorials, and hit the bell icon to get notified when we post new content. Thank you for watching.